Hello, everybody. Jay Rhymes here with the Periodic Review. We hope you're having an incredible day. Hopefully, we'll earn your subscription today. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this video with family and friends, as well as turn on those notifications so you don't miss a content release. You can now send all of your topic ideas to theperiodicreview@gmail.com. As you can see, we've kind of changed up things just for a minute. We'll talk about... What are we going to talk about? We don't know what we're talking about today. I'd like to introduce to you all a wonderful guest. We have Miss Jenna.
Hello.
Hey. Hey, Miss Jenna, tell us a little bit about yourself and what we're going to talk about today. And we just kind of do a round robin, kind of catching up about what we've done the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm super excited to be here. Kai and Bryson, I work with them.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They keep
Damn.
it
Yeah.
They keep it
Yeah.
sometimes.
We make her life a living hell.
No. Sometimes we keep it fresh. We keep it, I don't want to say bearable at work because it's not like I hate my job, but some days I just need Kai and Bryson and we just have fun.
It makes coming to work a lot easier having the three of us there.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
I would say a lot of our coworkers feel this way about the three of us. They're just like, when they're there, we can make it through the shift because we're just constantly cracking jokes and making the day go by faster.
And doing the cat gif and
in
the work chats all the time.
before they redid so we have a compliment wall at work where it's like people will write notes to each other, like just complimenting and like saying thank yous and everything. And I think at one point when me and two other employees that would work on the morning shifts pretty consistently, there was like a note directed towards all of us, like, thank you to the three of you because you make coming to work bearable at this hour.
That's incredible.
Because that was back when we were working the 5 a.m. shift.
Eek.
So
I did that shift one time with you guys on accident. Actually, that's a whole different story. That's fine. But I accidentally worked a morning shift, and honestly, I had to. I was there at 5 a.m. and I was like, this is the only reason I'm surviving today.
It's
Wow,
tough.
that's awesome.
It's tough.
That and Red Bull. So
I did that over the summer. I don't really care for that.
Yeah. We're happy to have Jenna here. She's expressed interest in coming onto the podcast, and we've been wanting to have her on for a while. So we're glad to have her here with us.
Really sorry we didn't get you last week, but I was not in a place where this would even work for me. I even told Bryson and Alec, I was like, hey, you guys, I'm going to be like dead in my bed, so you guys can come on down.
We can use the studio.
You can use the studio, but I'm not going to be there.
Yeah.
I could barely speak.
Yeah.
I think I had 101.5 temperature. I think was the highest. And I have a subdermal temperature. So my normal temperature is like 97.4. Is like somewhere between 97.4 and 97.9 is like my normal temperature. So once I hit that 99 mark, I'm like, this is bad. But as soon as I get 100, 101, holy
You're
hell,
dying.
I'm screwed.
yeah.
So what was something new that happened to you this week, Jenna? And then we'll kind of go around robin.
Well, let's see. Work's been pretty crazy. I believe it was this past Monday. I don't know. I'm losing track of the days. But this past Monday, I passed my certification exam, so I'm now a certified medical assistant, which is super exciting. Yeah. So it's been a long time coming for that, but so yeah.
That's
it's
exciting.
for me this week. Yeah.
We're glad to have you. I guess what's new with me is my wife came back from Italy. Got me sick. This is why we haven't had the podcast in two sessions. I'm feeling better, but I still sound like crap. So I'm glad that I have a big enough buffer tonight to kind of talk about stuff. Let's see. We got our second account violation on TikTok. So now,
I saw you
my
made
account is up on.
I saw you made a TikTok
what?
short about that. What was that all about? Like, what happened?
So the first video that got flagged was us laughing at the Liver King because he said that he would sun his unmentionables in order to increase his testosterone, and we were just dying laughing because nobody in their right mind would believe that. But we all thought it was funny, and of course I said, he said he was going to sun his balls, and we're just all dying laughing.
I'm so bummed I wasn't here for that episode because that was what I wanted to talk about.
No, you were there for that episode.
For the Liver King episode? No, I wasn't.
He wasn't.
Oh, he wasn't?
He wasn't able to make it, so it was just you, me, and Rianne.
Oh, Man, I just assume everybody's here all the time. That's how I roll.
We talked about the topics, but Kai couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I can't remember
It was
what
Liver,
for.
It was Liver King and Andrew Tate. I also don't remember why.
Yeah,
I
it was
couldn't
that.
make
It was that
remember-
episode.
I think it was a family thing that I had going
Yeah.
on.
I was going
but-
to say family or sick, something of
One
that
of the two.
nature.
Yeah. And so that video got guidelines viation.
So like you're bullying the Liver King. Let's stop.
Yeah, and it was something
Are you
about
kidding me?
it was something about hateful comments or something
Yeah.
like that. Some kind of
So they're probably saying you're bullying.
yeah,
which
some kind of cyberbullying.
I've had that
thing.
before because I just shit talk people on TikTok.
So that was the first one. The second one was the clip or the short that I created talking about how interesting it was how J.K. Rowling was making all this money, so she technically wasn't canceled. And then it also said, isn't it interesting how the most recent game from the Wizarding world, what's the game called again? Hogwarts Legacy. How that game has just like smashed records like on Twitch TV and all these wonderful things. Like it's like the #1 downloaded game, like breaking records. And that video was flagged for hate speech.
Wait, what?
You're not even saying hate speech. You're just being like,
Bro,
look at
like
this.
Like,
literally bring it
wow,
up. Like
check
it's
this
not
out.
like honestly, go to our TikTok page and look up the Hogwarts Legacy one. Like you'll laugh. It's like it's not even like I basically said that she was a women's rights advocate from 2020 and that she wasn't cancelable because she's still making all this money from Disney, or not Disney, but Warner Brothers. And actually, yeah, isn't Harry Potter World in Disney?
No, that's Warner
it's,
Brothers.
Oh, that's Universal, right?
Yeah.
Universal. Okay, so she's making hand over fist money. You'll have to look at the videos to try to find it.
Hey, there's
probably.
Bryson's face.
It's
I'm
me.
surprised my Gays Against Groomers one stayed up. Like, did you guys know that their their Twitch account got banned?
No, I don't
Because
really know.
they've
much
now
about-
banned the word groomer. Like on Reddit, on Twitter.
What?
Like they're banning these words.
It's Reddit though, and
I
it's
know.
Twitter. There's not a whole lot of
know.
censorship on either.
I know.
Especially Reddit.
I know.
Especially
Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reddit, you can have whatever you
So
want.
so that was the second one. I appealed, and that one went back up. I was like, oh, okay, great. And literally the next day,
Down again.
I got a different one. Different one. Which one? Shoot, which one was it? I'm sorry.
He made this video when he had short hair. I remember that much.
Yeah. I also.
You said they were flagged, Jacob?
Mm-hmm.
Would they not? Did they pull like views? Like you couldn't see them?
No,
Or
it should be up there. I'm in a hat. I'm in a hat. That one right there.
this one?
Yeah, click
Since
on that one.
advocating for women, J.K.
Listen to
Rowling
this.
has been under fire by the cancel culture since 2020. In an astonishing turn of events, she has remained uncanceled. Incredibly, the new Hogwarts Legacy game has made gaming history. It was the #1 streamed single-player game at launch on the streaming platform Twitch, with over 1 million viewers. My question to you is, has cancel culture become a thing of the past, or has the radical leftist become more moderate? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below.
Hate speech!
Oh my god!
Hate speech!
I was not ready for that one.
Scared me.
Now, I guess now I know how that feels.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bryson just ripped off his headphones.
like,
that one. Alec does this all the time to us, so
Yeah.
I love that I got to do that.
Oh god,
And then
maybe
the-
back on that one.
That
God.
scared
And
me.
the other one that popped up, which
Sorry, viewers.
So the other one was the one that I did. There was some new footage from the tens of thousands of hours of the January 6th stuff from DC. You'll have, since this one is taken down, you're going to have to actually go to our YouTube website and look it up. It's the one I have a red hat on, and it's the January 6th. So, and this is something that was, I think, exclusively from Fox News and Tucker Carlson. Listen to this. This is the one that got content violation and they said is hate speech.
it's muted.
All right. There should be a little.
Insurrection
Oh, there it
paints
goes.
legacy media as liars and spreaders of misinformation. The exclusive footage shared by Fox News' Tucker Carlson shows the infamous Jacob Chansley, also known as the QAnon shaman, being led around by Capitol Police as if he was on tour. So the video ends with Jacob saying a prayer thanking the officers. Currently, Chansley is serving 4 years in prison for domestic terrorism. My question to you is, should he stay incarcerated or should he be let go? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below.
Oh, the alternate right-leaning wing guy over at the Periodic Review. So that one's the other
didn't
one.
scare me as much.
Yeah, I know. But that was the other one because for spreading hate speech. Yeah, I don't get it. My account has now been flagged. I got the red letters of doom, as I call them. It says account warning on our account now.
Oh, lovely.
Whoa, I've never seen that. That's kind of cool, though. That's an accomplishment.
Honestly,
He's like,
Feel
yeah.
like at some
let's-
point
I am
everybody
such-
has to get the red letters.
I am such a moderate conservative. I'm just surprised, and we don't even have 100 followers on TikTok. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even get 100, maybe 200 views on each video.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you coming after my stuff? And there's other people
dare
like
you.
shaking their butts and their other mentionables on
fair.
TikTok, and you're just like,
It's because of the money
Okay.
that they're providing for TikTok.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
those
So,
those darn,
Probably.
those radicalized right wingers. Yeah, yeah. I literally objectively commented on shared the story, say, hey, what do you think of these two things? And it's like, that's really what you're going after? I don't know. I don't get it anymore. So I have now a backup account. So in case that one goes down, I can start uploading on the other one. That's been my week. I've been sick. And my TikTok's getting taken down.
Damn.
So
Damn.
it's been a week. A couple
been-
weeks.
It's been
So,
a week. Don't know what kind of week it is, but it's a week.
Anyway, so Bryson.
Me? Yeah, nothing hugely new.
What?
Yeah.
That was anticlimactic.
Nothing is like super crazy. The week before this since we didn't meet last week, we had our Guitars Unplugged thing that Kai
Oh,
performed
yeah.
at.
How did that go?
It was super good. He did great.
Dope.
And I actually have been getting a lot of messages. Even though I didn't even perform at it, I've had a lot of things said to me about the graphic that I did for it.
Oh
in the
my
promotion.
god.
God.
You did such a good job on that
I'll
graphic.
have to pull
Congrats, man.
it up. Because I did this lo-fi animation type style graphic that they put up on the big screens in the student center behind everyone that would filter through all the names and sponsors. So it was behind all the performers the entire show. But I've been getting a lot of talk about that. And in fact, they have the Festival of Excellence coming up in 2 weeks for school. So it kind of just lets students talk about some of the things they've been doing for their classes or clubs or whatever. And they asked me for the radio to talk about social media and the graphic stuff that I've been doing. So
Sick, man.
That's
That
pretty cool.
awesome.
could get you into some doors really quickly.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
good.
Nice.
When this last Wednesday we had gone up to Salt Lake to tour some broadcasting stations, almost all of them I would ask about their social media departments because that's where I would want to do things in that industry. But yeah, it was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much this week. Shut up, bro. Seriously, man.
No, and
That's
all-
so cool.
I did that on purpose.
Top
all of
it
them,
out.
all of
Top
them
it, Kai.
provided all of them provided solid answers for you too when you asked about the jobs in social media. They all talked about having departments and
Exactly.
there's definitely opportunities for you. I think we went to RSL. Those guys are awesome. And I think they were the oldest person that we have on the social media team is 30 years old.
Yeah.
So
I was like, let's go.
which
The
makes
oldest
sense.
person is 30 years old. Wow.
I mean, it does make sense because, gotta keep up with all the trends. too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
No, that's totally true. Because trends change
So fast.
yeah.
it's not even season to season anymore. It seems like every 30 days something new is or something is coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like the 90s have been coming back a lot more lately.
Yeah, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
2000s, those low-rise jeans better stay dead.
Amen, sister.
Stay
Thank
dead.
you. Thank you.
God.
I even did that back in the 90s.
Gross.
Low-rise jeans?
I would sag my
Yeah,
jeans, and I'd have my pocket handkerchief hanging out. So I was I was a punk rock kid growing up. When I was in high school, I should say, growing up in high school. So I was wearing the tight, girl type jeans. I was sagging it with my handkerchief hanging out of my pocket. I had a wallet chain, spiked hair. I dyed it quite often. And I loved punk rock music. That was my jam back in high school.
Jam.
So what's new with you, Alakai? We haven't hit you yet.
Well, I mean, Bryson and I have been like working pretty close on a lot of stuff going on with the radio at school.
Oh, yeah?
So I mean,
Is
like,
love in the air?
I don't know. Bryson, is love in the air?
Maybe some naked kissing?
Oh yeah, 100%.
We don't need to mention what happened on the back of the bus.
Whoa!
Anyways, so yeah, the
wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round.
Okay. So anyways,
Okay.
I apologize.
Dude. So Bryson, when we were, I already told you this, but I'm gonna say it on the podcast now.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was getting my stuff set up at the event for Guitars Unplugged, really awesome event, by the way. Like everyone who worked on that, Bryson included, everyone did a phenomenal job. I was setting my stuff up, and one of the guys that we work with came up to me, and he was just like, "Oh man, that graphic is so cool. If I could, I'd give Bryson a BJ for this."
Whoa, bro.
And I was like, "I'm gonna tell Bryson you said that."
That's like another level of bromance right there.
And Bryson sat next to me during the event, and I told him, and I could see Bryson blushing a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyways, the event was
I'm
awesome.
so single.
Anyways,
Hey, Bryce, and whoever you choose to love, we will support you. Okay, we love everybody.
Anyways,
They're not Andrew Garfield, so no, you don't got a chance.
That's fair.
Or Pedro Pascal.
Yep.
oh,
Pedro's apparently the
Daddy.
new
Daddy.
daddy. Yeah, Pedro's the new daddy apparently.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but he's just kind of mid.
I hate you.
Henry Cavill, bro, he's daddy.
Oh,
That's true.
Yeah,
but I like Pedro.
I
Anyways,
like him too. Like I actually just started season 2 of Narcos. Bro, it's actually a pretty good show. But it's a lot of reading subtitles because it's like 60-70% in Spanish. So it's like,
Oh man, so I would go great with this show. I'm always reading subtitles.
yeah, good call.
Can I finish?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
Woo.
Jacob, stop.
Jacob, I'm getting
apologize.
turned on. Stop.
Whoa, bro.
Sorry, Dad.
Mom, my apologies. You raised me better. And this is terrible for my voice, but man, I'm on a roll. I'm looking for that laugh, and you guys are laughing. So
You can always count on that when I'm here. I'll literally
Oh
laugh
my
at anything.
God.
Okay.
bueno.
Jesus.
Sorry. Did you forget what you were gonna say?
Yeah.
Oh, you got me snorting over here, man. I don't do that very often for anybody.
Let's see. Some guy really wanted to compliment Bryson on his
Oh
graphic.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So Guitars Unplugged was great. Everyone that showed up, like there was a lot of people that showed up for me, which is really, 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 really cool.
That's
like,
awesome, man.
When I first got on stage, I was shaking a lot, not because of like the nerves, but because like I legitimately started to get like kind of emotional because I was like I did not think that many people were going to show up for me. But like
It's because
like-
we care for your sky.
oh, shit. But anyways, that's our work slogan. But just looking at, I was like, oh man, like don't mess this up. And immediately I was like, oh, okay, my hands are shaking, and which makes it really hard to play because it's like
you need those to play.
everything that I do with my guitar, like my hands have to stay really calm, and it was really tough. So, but it was so cool. Just performed like a bunch of different popular songs from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, and
Nice. Good mix there, by the way.
yeah, it's great. So the event was cool. The visit up to Salt Lake was really awesome. We have another one going down to Vegas in a couple of weeks here, which I plan on
that'll
going
be
to.
fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
So-
good studios in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Vegas at all, but I mean, I need to network, so I mean,
been
I'm
me.
graduating in the fall and have no plans, so I need to figure something out, you know. Other than that, not really anything else new. Finished The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I'd like to have an episode on that at some point.
That'd
You
be
watch that
cool.
show?
I've seen a couple of episodes, but I haven't like watched it intentionally.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
episodes that I have seen have been pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, really good show. So that finished up. Not really anything else new. That's pretty much it. It's just those are like the two big things. So
All right. So
Yeah.
now that we've bullshit enough for this, for getting part of the podcast, Miss Jenna, you have some topics you want to talk about tonight.
Yeah. So
Hit us.
I am all over TikTok constantly. I watch TikTok like it's TV. It's probably a problem, but I forgot what the first one was. Let me check my notes real quick.
Okay, well, rightfully so. I mean, TikTok is
we've also been going off the
it
rails, and
is
TikTok is a bit
the
of a rabbit hole.
most.
Yeah,
it is
that's
the
true.
most addictive social media outlet to date. Like it is literally crack
definitely
cocaine
true.
for everybody,
Yep.
Oh, I do remember.
both old and young.
Yeah.
Because even like I'm, yeah.
Yeah. So, it can kind of turn into a topic, but it was mainly just a question that me and Bryson mainly, but we talked about it with Kai too. But the question was like, if you were a robot like this entire time, would you want to know? Would you want to know?
That ooh.
Okay, first of all, I want to start this out. Jenna,
Okay.
since you're the one that's starting off this topic,
You two are
What-
fired. Jenna's coming on.
What-
From now on? That's a great question.
so
Do you
you
want me to answer?
yes, you can start kick us off with this because
Yeah.
I'm interested. I don't think you and I have talked about this at all, but
Yeah. So, I think my answer would be no, because I think it would just like send you just like spiraling. And there would be so many questions. Like if I found out that I was a robot, I would be like, yo, who wrote this program? Because like, dude, what the heck? Like, come on.
okay, but like, so if you've been a robot this entire time, then obviously, like, because we all have memories of like when we've been growing
Yeah.
up and everything. So are those
Then
our
those would-
memories? Or are those uploaded?
They would probably all have to be programmed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. That's
But-
why I would be talking to the guy. I'd be like, whoever like
so they're not our
programmed with these
memories.
experiences.
So they're not our memories then. They're uploaded
Yeah.
from someone else.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because like you could even go farther than that and be like, well, if there is a God, would you really want to know or not?
Yeah, because that God is essentially
Because
your dad
your maker.
or your.
That's your maker.
It's like some
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands
So-
type of
Dad?
shit. Dad, I'm
Daddy,
scared.
is
Can
that
you pick
you?
me up?
Do I look like a dad?
Do I
All of us here, even my wife, we're all Exmo. So, well, we're no longer following Mormon principles, so that we're no longer practicing. And part of that belief is that you believe that you were somewhere before you came here, and your purpose is to learn and grow and then return, right? And do a good job here so that you go into a better place out there. So it's like to have that particular knowledge would just be really, really interesting. So thinking of it from a point of going back to your question is if you were a robot and if this was all programs and wires, so would you want to know? And that's a very good question, because if you did know, like, then what would be the purpose
Yeah.
anymore? Because
Exactly. It would just send you spiraling. There would be no midlife crisis because like robots don't really have like
They don't
their
have a life.
isn't like
Yeah.
ours, so it wouldn't be a
So-
midlife crisis. You'd just be a crisis.
Because like,
That's
what
why I
if,
wouldn't want to know.
because what if you could go back to your maker and then request, like, hey, there are some feelings that I don't want to have
Like put in
anymore.
a service request.
you know what's
Like,
funny?
can I take away I don't want to feel depressed anymore. So they can they can just export
yeah.
your
Take out the
mental
USB.
Like
your
those
mental
couple of
stability.
code lines that
Yeah.
make you
Yeah, they can literally
just delete those.
Oh man, so if you have a panic attack, that's just someone pushing a button saying like, "Let's give you one now."
Oh gosh.
Well, that slips into, a couple of podcasts ago where we talked about, changing like children's DNA and like basically
Like the
growing.
CRISPR technology.
Yeah, like growing your own
Yeah.
baby and like choosing their eye color, their hair color, their
Echo Life.
genes. Are they going to be fit, fat,
Yeah.
thin? You could just completely delete those
I
genetically.
hate how you made me, Mom.
Oh my god! Did you ever hear about that? The whole Echo Life thing?
Well,
it was a proposed conceptual idea. It wasn't an actual, like, as far as we know, they're not actually doing that, but it was a concept in kind of like an animated video that was like 10 minutes long, and it like blew up on the internet.
Yeah, right. But Jenna, did you ever hear about?
I remember sitting in my senior English class in high school and literally watching a guy give a TED talk about it, and it was the craziest thing to just sit there and just like hear this guy talk about this and just be like, yeah, so this is kind of the future-ish. Like they basically know like exactly what they want it to do, but it's definitely something that's not going to be cheap. So then like if it goes too far with it, you're going to have a million Kim Kardashians and then just like the rest of us.
It's basically like making
and it's only going to be available for the 1%. Obviously,
and they called it designer babies.
Yes, that was the buzzword.
You're basically
Designer
making
babies.
a real life me character.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my person super tall, super built,
High charisma, high strength,
You max
high
out every
dexterity.
The best D&D character ever.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
God.
just rolling 20. It's like
My boyfriend would be really proud that I connected the dots on all of that.
beautiful. I love that.
You just max out all the stats, and they just look so janky.
All of his spells are like level 3.
It's how you can go into like some like character creators, and it's like you can adjust the eye width
Oh,
and
God.
the hair and
Oh,
da-da-da,
no.
and you just max
Oh,
out
my
everything
God.
just to see how it looks out.
Yeah, then
They
what
turn
would-
out looking like Sid the Sloth.
That's Whisper.
Doesn't anyone love me? Doesn't anyone
Anyone
care about Sid the Sloth?
Oh, and then you could be whatever race you wanted. You could have whatever
Yeah.
gradient of melanin in your skin. Like you could be whatever you wanted, bro.
That reminds me of those memes that came out like, hey, when your wife had her baby, what color was her skin? It was black. Yeah, that explains it. You are not the father.
Well, that would be perfect because like you would want your baby to have the best of his life, right? And to be the smartest and everything. So it would make sense to statistically you would want your new ecto baby to be Asian. Because they are the top earners right now in America. But they are. They are. If you look at it per race, like what everybody's making on average a year, Asians got it, baby.
They are.
They're making the most.
Yeah.
Killing it.
More
I
than
think that's more
Very
of
educated.
like because of a culture thing, not
Oh,
necessarily
for sure.
because of
That's
their
true,
race.
too.
Because their culture is way more of like
Inventive.
that, and they have like a lot of respect for elders, and so it's
Yeah.
and so when like people older generations than the current tell them to do something, they will do it.
yeah.
In like American and more Western culture, we are very much a independent type stuff. It's
Yeah.
like we do whatever we want, whether our parents care or not. So
That's true.
it's a little bit different culturally.
Yeah.
I think that's a big result of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the original question, Jacob, what do you think?
No, I would want to be ignorantly bliss on that subject.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think that you wouldn't. Really?
Mm-mm.
Explain your answer.
Well,
Explain.
Just walk us through your thought process. I want to hear the.
Well, that's actually a good point because it's like I'm kind of living my life in a way because of my beliefs and my kind of faith crisis. Like I no longer believe in religion. I don't no longer believe in normal Judaic Christian, beliefs, although I do accept those principles as my own as far as like being a good person, not killing, not stealing, all those fun things.
Wait, we're not supposed to do that? No, I'm kidding.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we
got him.
SWAT comes in. FBI, open up!
Bryson just gets dragged out the door over there. We all just
Guys?
sit here and just like, anyway.
Guys, this wasn't part of the script.
Yeah.
We never rehearsed this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as a machine, like I would want to be. I want to be the machine.
Bert Kreischer.
Yes, I love Bert
Love
Kreischer.
it.
Oh my god.
Take the blue pill or take the red pill.
I love that guy. Yeah, like as a human being, like I would want to know if there is a God or if there's a creator of all the wonderful things that we have in this universe and the things that we have in this life. But as a robot, man, I would want to be blissfully like, because I'm going to eventually die, but as a machine, like you could be programmed to live forever and you could have every single part of your, you know, your body replaced, you know, even all the way down to whatever is, you know, going through their programmed cortex. So yeah, I think if I was a machine, I would want to be blissfully unaware.
Dude.
But as a human being, like if I wanted to know if there was a God or not, appear to me. I am very, very curious to see what that would look like.
Dude, what if like when we die, that's basically just us pressing reset and we just go through that cycle all over again and we're just constantly getting recycled?
Have you seen The Discovery with John Siegel and Robert Redford?
No.
So it was a movie from 2017. I just watched it. I watched it twice. I watched it once with myself. A little tutelage while I was watching it. So I was like, this is I even texted you guys right after I saw it. I was like, this is my most favoriteest movie ever.
That was the one that you thought came out this year, but actually came out like 6 years ago.
And I was so angry. I was like, oh, I wanted to be my favorite video of this, or this film of this year.
Is it a drama or is it a documentary?
It's a sci-fi drama. It's about basically a guy who was able to prove that there was an afterlife.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't know exactly what it was.
Just that there was one.
Yes, and unfortunately, because of this, it caused mass panic and people were unlifing themselves. It's a very, very sad story too. And so in that, they're going through the process, and I'm sorry I'm going to spoil it for everybody, but they basically find out that the things that play out after they die in this film, that you're replaying those moments and making different decisions, like almost like you're in like it's like
You're like
an RPG.
I was gonna say you're like playing one of those Telltale games where you get like a bajillion outcomes and it just matters which outcome you pick.
Yeah, there's like 6 different endings.
Exactly.
To every story.
Yeah. Well, and if you espouse to the idea of string theory, I mean, there could be many, many multiple dimensions and many, many things happening at the same time.
String theory is what they talk about in Interstellar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with these strings, like if you could slip into another one, then you could potentially, this is assuming that, you know, time and space can be delinear, that you could move forward and backward in time and actually make better decisions from the bad ones that you made. And so that's where this kind of film kind of proposes that.
Interesting.
I don't know where I was going with that point, but it was a really interesting film and I would definitely recommend it, even though I'm not a big John Siegel fan, except for, you know, Sarah Marshall and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the whole premise of the film was very, very interesting. But, you know, sentient AI, I don't know, man. Like I'm kind of like, kind of sketchy on the whole, that point. So if we could create something where it could walk and talk and think for itself, is it something that's going to learn until it hits that wall of what it has within its capability, or are you able to transfer that to something better, throw that back into its brain?
Yeah.
And
like,
now it can even get even smarter and stuff. And then where does it go from there? Like,
can it develop its own personality and make its own decisions, think for itself?
yeah, because think of
Or is that
how
all
ambitious we
uploaded?
are as human beings.
Yeah.
You know, if something that was that intelligent, that strong, that fast, that, you know, put whatever you want into this mechanical being, and then, okay, what's its purpose in life?
Yeah. Well, that reminds me of the movie Megan, which I watched super recently, and it was actually pretty good. But essentially, it's basically the exact same thing that you were talking about. I've never seen the movie Chucky, but I know like I know what happens in that movie. I would say it's basically like kind of like a Chucky story, but like more modern, because essentially this lady creates a toy and it's the AI and it is supposed to learn like as it goes, but then it doesn't end too good. I don't want to spoil it because it's actually a pretty good movie. But
I did want to see that movie. Heard it's good.
So there's a couple of different series. I'm not sure which this one was on. It might have been Love, Death, and Robots or Oat Studios. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The one called Blue, where that guy becomes this super, like, mega creative robot that, like, does all these wonderful paintings. Everybody loves him. Super famous.
Yes.
And as he goes on,
I don't know.
After he gets all this crazy fame and everything, he starts, instead of going upward, he kind of starts moving backward. He simplifies his art until it's just like a tiny blue square or whatever. Yes, that one.
Is this an animated thing?
Yes.
It's in Love, Death, and Robots.
It is?
The episode is Zima Blue.
Zima Blue, yes.
Okay.
And he basically deconstructs himself to his very first counterpart as his first robot, which was a pool cleaner.
Yeah.
Wow.
That show's so good.
Like he just
I haven't seen all of it.
That was his last piece, and he becomes back to his very first component. And I was just like, wow, like for a robot idea, that was pretty deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so this is where I think of that's really interesting about AI is that like it can only do what it's programmed to do. So if you program it in a way where it can break laws as far as like, you know, the laws of the land, you're not supposed to kill, you're not supposed to steal, all that wonderful stuff. So if it can't break any of those rules, right, and its purpose is to learn and to grow, but what does it become? Well, it's going to become whatever we program it to.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing is that like all these AI chatbots and everything, like they're just basically spewing out patterns of words that make sense in the human language. It's not that it's actually thinking for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are several levels of AI. Because there's like the basic level where it's just like the machine learning, which is anything that we've programmed. So that is everything that we have now. You then have machine intelligence, where it's as smart as a human and can learn for itself. And then you have machine consciousness, where it is like everything. So like to get from stage 1 to stage 2 is actually extremely hard, which is why it hasn't happened yet, because they can't really think for themselves yet.
Right.
But when they can, it will be really fast that they go from stage 2 to stage 3, because they can learn instantly faster than humans, because it's just data that they download, rather than us, where it's like memories have to be processed in our brains to understand them. So a single machine could eventually, like if it hit stage 2, it could eventually hit stage 3 and just have the entire collective knowledge of everything in the universe.
Essentially Age of Ultron.
Exactly.
Before Age of Ultron, it was Skynet from Terminator.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
The Matrix.
What a... God.
Oh, yeah, and between that is the Matrix, you're right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Like, I think it's really funny, like, how these different films, like, are always, like, doom and gloom. They're always, like, post-apocalyptic, like, everything's dead or dying, and, like, everybody is just, like, fending for themselves. I just think it's really interesting. Mm-hmm. And what's usually, you know, the bad guys in a lot of these, like, different sci-fi movies, it's always, like, the robots, the androids, or, you know, or aliens, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, Bryson, what are your thoughts? What route are you going?
Yeah.
On if I would want to be a robot, want to know if I'm a robot or not?
Yeah.
I get the blissful ignorance, because what if like everything you've ever known is basically a lie? But I also kind of would want to know if I was a robot, especially to know if I was like a cool robot that I can like change things about. I'm like, okay, so I'm a robot, everything's
what
fake.
Are my upgrades?
Exactly. I'm like, can I figure out a way to
77.
Exactly. Can I
How
fly?
do I become my favorite Transformer?
What upgrades can I give myself to become the real Spider-Man? So
I knew it.
Yep.
I knew that's where you're gonna go.
We were talking about this at work today. I'll just give springs in my legs, all grappling hooks to my hands. I'll just be the real Spider-Man.
Yeah, someone asked. I don't
Spidey
remember.
robot.
I remember the question that they asked, but they asked like, what was it? Like, would you rather be able to speak every language?
In a horrible, offensive accent, or
I want that one.
be able to jump 20 feet, but you don't gain any ability to take more fall damage.
I'm picking the 20 feet so I can become a professional basketball player and just dunk on everyone. just halfway across the court, just jump, and I'm like...
Someone was like, you'll just break your legs.
The best vertical at the NFL Combine.
Someone was like, you'll just break your legs, and then another one of our operators, he's like, don't worry.
Slam dunk. We got half court.
We got spares, and he has prosthetic legs.
Oh my God! But yeah, he was like, don't worry, I got
funny.
extra. It's the guy that is missing a leg that we work with.
Yeah. I was like, add springs, and now you can jump 40 feet.
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when you get to start to that transhuman stuff where where people are starting to like replace arms and legs so that they could work faster, type faster, like jump higher, run fast. Did I say run faster twice?
Robot time.
Yeah.
Autobots.
Roll out. It's $1 million man. We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Zus. Okay.
All right. What about you, Kai? Did you already?
That's how Disney's
say
going to come
yours?
back.
No.
No.
I want to know. If I'm a robot, I want to know. I think it's kind of a similar reason for Bryce, and I want to know like what upgrades I can start making for myself. But
Can
also,
I jump 20 feet?
It doesn't matter. You're just living in a simulation. So either way.
I think at the age that I'm at now and where I've been at in life, it's like I'm now lacking a lot of motivation for anything and everything. And I'm having a hard time finding a lot of joy and happiness in anything and everything. So I feel like if I did find out that I was a robot, that would be a game changer. And I could probably be
yes.
like, yeah, I could probably be like, yo,
I feel
so
you
what
there.
can I do here? Like I would probably, I feel like there's a lot more that I would like.
There would be so many questions.
I'd have a lot of questions, but I'd also like all of those questions would be like, well, now that I know this, what can I start doing?
You're immediately like upgrades, people, upgrades.
Exactly. Like what?
Like Beyonce.
Can I make upgrades to like my thoughts and like start writing novels and just make a
You start thinking
shit ton of
super
money off of that?
philosophically.
Could I? Yeah. Like could I start learning how to like
How to
do
Dougie?
really? Yeah. Be a professional Dougie. Is that a word?
Be a professional
Dougie.
Dougie.
But anyways,
Like I think honestly in this life, like things feel alien enough as it is. Like you could probably convince somebody to believe that they're a robot.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Like
That just reminds me of this scene from Loki, the like Marvel TV show, is where like when he immediately gets taken by the TVA, he has to go through like this metal detector, and they're like, as far as you know, are you not a robot? He's like, do a lot of people not know that they're robots? And if I am, what happens? And they're like, it'll just disintegrate you from the inside out. And it's like, oh, what? And you just like start freaking out.
well,
Yeah.
guess you would know then.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what was I was just thinking like a TikTok I was just watching the
That's
other
always
day.
the
They were kind of going deep. Like one of the more deeper
That's what she said.
thoughts that were going in my mind. I swear if I forget this, I'm going to be so mad. So one of my thoughts of like as far as like this life, there's the belief that there's a creator. There's a belief in Darwinism, right? There's a belief in the stoned ape theory. There's belief
The stoned ape theory?
Yeah,
He's like, dude.
I was
stoned ape
gonna.
theory. There's these different things different beliefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the thoughts that I had was that we are actually being piloted by aliens. So we are in a simulation, but our consciousness is taken over. So we're actually the alien piloting these bodies. Then we go to sleep, we go back to our alien ships and we
Recharge.
So it's kind of like the whole Matrix idea. But oh no, now I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it. It was so interesting too. No. Okay, I got it. Hold on. I got it. So basically, this life is our opportunity to learn and to grow. And then when we sleep, we transition into our other life and utilize what we learned.
So basically, our dreams and like when we go to sleep is our real state.
Life.
And when like when we're awake and going about our lives, we're basically collecting data.
Exactly.
So
we're surfing through.
I saw that video. That was sick.
Through space and time, and we're learning and growing. We're experiencing this form of reality, and then we go to sleep and we go live our normal lives.
So I can fly in my normal life.
We can fall and not die.
Jenna's
If our dreams are real life.
Jenna's like,
Then
man.
I'm like, yes.
Jenna's like, man, the waking world sucks.
So in my sleep, tsunamis in Utah are real.
Yes.
Bro, I've had that dream. Tsunamis in Utah? I've had that dream many times.
Dude,
I have to.
I was in a
Programmed
parking.
exactly
I was
the
in a
same.
parking structure. I kid you not. I'm in a parking structure. I'm in a brown suit, tie, and everything. I'm getting out of my car. And I have my little briefcase. And
He's
I'm
looking
going to work.
He's looking dappered
And
up.
I go,
for the
what the
tsunami."
f is that? And then here comes this big wave, and I just drowned.
Wow.
Dead.
Wow.
I've had that
DED
dream
dead.
multiple times.
See, every time I've woken up from a tsunami dream, I'm like, that's why we have a lighthouse in Cedar City.
You told me that before, Kai. I've heard that one before. I still
that's
don't
all-
know why. I don't get it.
That's all I think is like, well, if the end of the world happens,
We're just waiting.
If anybody
for the
out there can
beachfront
tell me why Cedar City,
property.
Utah has a lighthouse.
They know something we don't.
Yeah.
also,
Although every big tech guy who owns all these tech companies that are worried about climate change, all of them have houses in like California. No, California. Like on islands in Florida, which is very ironic.
yeah, that is weird.
They're all
They're
Because
usually
they're all
getting
just gonna get-
Americans.
They're just going to get
Yeah.
flooded. It's like, why do you have all this property? It's like,
Yeah.
why does Bill Gates own like how many tens of thousands of acres now
Too
of
many.
farmland?
Post Malone was the only smart one he set up in Utah.
Posty.
Yeah, boy.
He's selling his house in St. George, I guess.
What? Dad, buy it.
Dad, buy it.
Dad.
My dad loves Post Malone.
Then you can
That's
know
his
Post
favorite
Malone
rapper
and
ever.
own his house.
All right, what else you got for us, Jenna?
Well, we did mention aliens.
That's our
Let's
next
go.
topic.
Yeah, that goes into our next topic. There's been a lot of weird stuff in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So weird. I saw this TikTok, going back to TikTok, and it was like, I don't know if it was before or after the weird weather balloon thing, but I don't know if you guys have ever seen, like, when there's a new development of homes being built and they put a giant balloon, just like, I guess, like, maybe to pinpoint where, like, almost like a real life map pin.
Right.
But it's just a huge red, like, circular balloon. Like, it's a sphere. Well, I saw this video. Again, it's a video media, whatever you can say about the internet. And it was just this
All the
black.
liberal media.
It was this black orb, just kind of like, going, and just going. But it was like the closer that it got to the person taking the video, like it looked like it was going like pretty fast, and it was like kind of low-ish. And then like there was another video that I saw where it was like these weird like triangle lights like blinking in the sky, and it's like we've never seen those before because obviously there was like the towers so the planes don't run into them and stuff like that. There's just been some weird stuff going on in the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, Chicken Little was my favorite movie growing up, but I don't need it in real life.
Good movie.
There's enough going on.
If you ever tell us that the sky is falling, I'll believe you.
The sky is falling.
That reminds me. Like,
It was an acorn.
There's been some sightings in the ocean between Los Angeles and San Diego.
Yeah, I saw that on TikTok as well.
Yeah, so there was a pilot, I think just this year. They were doing like these flight tests out there for. It was with their so it was with their Navy, but
It was just
they were
Tom Cruise.
maybe we don't know.
You're being
Actually, we don't
glib,
know.
Kai. You're being glib.
Chad Underwood is actually the name of the guy that I think that was one of the names that was mentioned, but they were like, so they were doing like these flight tests out in the ocean, and they looked down on the radar, and there was like this, like on the radar it showed up like the shape of a tic tac.
Mm-hmm.
And so this unidentified aircraft actually started moving. But with our aircrafts, like when we turn, it's like on curves and everything, right?
Right. Big wide turns.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this aircraft, when it started moving, the turns were like straight, like 90-degree angles.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, our aircraft was trying to get really close to it, and this tic tac unidentified aircraft was following it. It was following its flight patterns, but the turns were not like, they weren't curved the same. They were just like zigzagging, and it was so bizarre. And eventually, they got to a point where this aircraft stopped in front of them, and eventually just disappeared, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is like people are seeing this stuff, and then it'll just like disappear, or like almost look like a mirror, like kind of turned, and so it's just like
right when you get close enough.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's the interesting thing about these UFOs and unidentified flying phenomena, UAPs that they're calling them now, is that the filming of them are usually blurry.
No,
they're usually so fast, and they always disappear. It's very strange.
Yeah, it is super weird.
It's very strange that they do these things.
Yeah.
But where are you at, Jenna, as far as like aliens? Like what specifically about aliens like did you have for everybody?
I mean, just like I just wanted to know like what you guys thought about like all that stuff going on. And like especially with it happening in Las Vegas, you know, there's Area 51 out there, but yeah, I mean, I feel like if there is like other things out there, like I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm like scared of them, but like I don't know, I just think it's pretty interesting. Like okay, like kind of like how you said about like if there was a creator of like everything, like kind of like show yourself, you know. I'm just kind of like now I'm interested, like pull up, like let's pull up.
Like I want to know.
Well,
like,
I mean, it's really interesting. Like that's the interesting thing about people who do believe in spirituality and things like that. It's like they believe that we're very connected to dreams and stuff like that. But I'm just like, if you've seen some of my dreams, I don't think I'm spiritually connected to some of these. Although I have like in my dreams, I've walked on the beach with Jesus. I've held him in my arms. But I'm not like, oh yeah, I've met Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know how that correlated with aliens, but because you were talking about like
Jesus
a supreme
is an
creator.
alien.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some people that believe, you know, and Mormons do believe that God literally lives on another hemisphere somewhere out there in space. So I don't know.
So then it's like, will we ever live to see like if they are out there, like will we ever live to like see the day where like they come here, or like we find them out there somewhere?
I just hope they don't see all the movies that we've made about us killing them.
Yeah,
humans. Don't get any ideas.
Or them killing us. Like
Yeah.
we've made a lot of
Killing us.
movies of aliens killing us. and
Yeah, a
just
lot
like,
of it's warfare, and
They
I'm
just-
like, well,
yeah.
They just show
I
us
think
their
it's
movies.
interesting that's the where we go to. When there's anybody different than us, they're just like, oh, they're here to dominate and to, you know, take us over. But
Yeah.
that does make sense in a way, especially when you think of the way that we look at it in Anthill. You know, like if we're so big and we're so superior and we have all this technology, we look at Anthill and go, that's great. It's an anthill.
Yeah.
You know, why would you go and stomp on it?
yeah. But also, like, when, I think it was the Dropouts podcast. Love that podcast. Neil deGrasse Tyson was...
We've referenced it several
No free
times.
promo here.
Yeah. Anyways, Neil deGrasse Tyson was on that show at one point, and he talked about, like, you know, if there are aliens out there, and we've been able, like, supposedly we've been able to travel out into space for the last, like, 50 years, but we just haven't. Like, all we've really done is just gone out and done work, like construction work on the satellites, right?
Well, on the space station, but there's nothing new. Like
Yeah.
they went to the moon, go,
Right.
oh, it's more carbon.
And
They know. They're like, there's something out there. We can't go past our borders.
yeah, so,
You know?
and we've not been able to find any innovative ways to make it past freaking the moon.
Or to make money off of it.
Or to make money off of it.
You know, cultivate it so it makes sense for us to continue to go to the moon and back.
Yeah.
Or to Mars and back.
And if the universe is infinite enough for another species of existence to be out there, then what makes us think that they would be interested in us at all? So like that anthill theory.
Or they're just too far away that we couldn't say hi to them and they couldn't say hi to us.
Exactly. It's like a...
I mean, the only way to... Like, what's the closest planet to us that we believe is most likely exoformed and most likely could potentially have life on it? I think it's something prime.
It's
like 600 million light years away or something like that. Or something like that.
Proxima Centauri.
That's it. Proxima Centauri. How far away is it?
Let's see. It is 4.2 light years away.
Okay.
So that... I'm seeing how far that is.
I don't speak alien, Bryson.
Yep. So that's about...
I don't speak alien.
That's about 36 trillion kilometers away.
Okay.
I also don't speak that language.
Pretty damn. So it's pretty damn far. So light years. So that means if you could travel at the speed of light, it would take you 4 years to get there.
That's what that means?
That's what
Yeah.
that means.
Okay.
In layman's terms. That's how what I
connect
speak.
those
I
two
speak in
dots.
layman's
That's
terms.
what that means?
So that's a damn long time to get there. So we would have to build something that could go near enough to the speed of light without, breaking the laws of physics that we understand anyways, to get there in 4 years.
Yeah.
And then have to communicate with them, assuming that they have the same technologies and communication devices that we do, which, how do we know that?
Yeah.
And they may not even be terrestrial beings of that particular hemisphere. I mean, the life on that planet could be on a different light spectrum. I mean, it could be different formulations of atoms and protons and electrons, but it's really different.
They could even be at a different stage in life. Like, even if it's like intelligent life, like civilizations like us, who say they're not like really, really young. Like, humans are technically a really young species.
Right.
It wouldn't be really far past the limit to say that if there's another species that has also started to do the similar things that we have, that they are also very young and don't fully grasp everything yet either.
Exactly. So we don't even know. Like,
Yeah.
They also may not be intelligent enough to create aircraft and communication to be able to travel out here. Like, it could... Heck if I know. There could be a planet with just dogs out there.
I want to go there.
We
Send me there
communicate.
now.
I want to go there too.
We communicate with our mouth holes, and then we receive information through our ear holes. Who's to say that they don't have that same way of communication? So it's
Yeah,
like,
it might be a different thing. Oh, Bryson,
but as
can you
far
do
as
me-
like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I was just thinking of the movie with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. I don't
Arrival?
remember. Arrival, yes. Where
That's
they,
a great film.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
so-
so good.
Where they arrive on our planet, and the whole movie is basically just us learning how to communicate with them.
Yeah, the whole movie.
The aliens are going to show us their
amazing.
movies about them killing us.
Amazing story. Amazing story.
It's a good one. But as far as like, do I believe that alien life is out there? I believe the possibility is good. I think that it's very, very possible. But either they're too far away, we don't communicate the same way.
Or they don't give a shit.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I don't think we've been visited yet. I think what's flying around in there that we don't understand or can comprehend are just drones
what about the whole
of our
theory?
making.
Yeah.
What about the whole theory of, like, a lot of ancient civilizations having some kind of influence or some kind of help from
I think-
an alien life form?
So that would be based off the book of Chariots of the Gods by, whatever his name is from, was he Russian?
Everybody's right.
Everybody like Puldov. I don't remember his name, but I think he's a Russian author. It was very, very controversial for the time. I think it was in the 70s or 80s that it came out, Chariots of the Gods.
The 60s.
60s, wow,
By
even farther.
Eric von Daniken.
That's the guy. So his belief is ancient aliens. And basically, he goes through these different hieroglyphs, these different petroglyphs, these different carvings, and basically finding images that look similar to what we believe aliens look like. Mm-hmm. And so he's using that connection. And of course, there's, the different spin-offs that we've had, Ancient Aliens and, the different series that have been on.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's just not compelling enough for me. Neither has any of the aerial footage that I've seen, neither has any of the stories I've read. I've looked a lot into this. It's just not enough. And unfortunately, we are terrible at testifying at what we saw something, because you put 10 people in a room, have them experience one thing and have them regurgitate what they experienced or what they saw. Everybody's going to be different. So it's like, why are we using that in court? Again. Exactly. Yeah. Because we'll start changing the narrative in our minds to make it make sense into our brains, which is something that we do as humans. And yet we yell and scream at each other when we make mistakes. It's like, no, duh. We make a mistake. We're human. We're built that way.
You're wrong.
Well, built or evolved, however you want to believe. We're programmed. Yeah. we might be sacks of meat, but yeah, we might all be biological.
We're all just piloting fleshy mechas everywhere.
No, I don't like the word fleshy.
That's triggering.
Trigger warning.
Like the monster on the Witcher, the Leshy.
But
this time it's
so
fleshy.
Gross.
Fleshy sounds gross.
Fleshy sounds gross.
Leshy sounds, I don't know what that sounds like.
But yeah, I romanticize the idea of aliens. I think it'd be super cool. Mm-hmm. Those are the two things I would love to appear to me: an alien in real life, and whatever supreme being has created this wonderful world that we live in. Because I'd be like, that's cool.
Like,
then I'd know.
Like, we all know Bryson would just want to meet a dinosaur.
I would.
I'm a dinosaur.
See, thank you, Jenna.
That would be cool. It would be terrifying, but it would be kind of cool.
Yeah. I always ask that, would you rather meet an alien or would you rather meet a dinosaur?
Dinosaur.
But you never know.
Jenna,
dinosaurs could be
Jenna,
aliens.
thank you.
Yeah. Dinosaurs are dumb.
Yeah, but they're like dogs.
Animals are dumb.
You could just make them your pet.
Now we're seeing some really controversial things here.
Just have a pterodactyl as a pet. You wouldn't have to drive anywhere.
P as in pterodactyl.
Hi, this is my pet Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Just eats you.
I call him Mr. T.
Mr. T.
Yes.
He starts busting down. He's like, let's go.
Starts breakdancing. His tail just knocks everything over.
The other one
Spits
just starts
verses.
The other one just starts busting.
Oh my god. With their 6 foot long. No, okay, I'm not.
Anyways,
tails. Talking about tails.
Yeah. TikTok, I swear.
Yeah. God. Yeah, that's such an interesting topic. It's really cool, but yeah, I'm not convinced we've been visited, and I don't think we're being visited now. And like I said on our other podcast, there's only 2 instances where I go, maybe something happened there.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that we've been visited and that the invasion's already started. So
we're all gonna die.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He's part of the lizard people.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Dude.
Mark Zuckerberg's definitely part of the lizard people, bro.
For real.
That dude's morals have been so compromised.
Even if lizard people
Sweet Baby Ray's?
That could be definitely proven super untrue. He just looks like a lizard in general.
Sweet Baby Ray's?
Skeezy.
Got the Sweet Baby Ray's?
Oh goodness. Hollow Earth theory. We could go on.
We're all going to die by 2050 anyway. We're fine.
Yeah, we'll still be here.
Maybe 10 of us.
I think honestly,
just 10 people.
here's my theory where mankind's going to go from here. We're going to get to the point where we make too much technology for no effing reason that we're just going to people are just going to start dying off because of it. And then we go, oh, maybe we should go back to our roots. And then we start reverting back to our ancestral days. That's
if you
what I think
follow
is
these
gonna happen
9 ancestral tenets.
No, not that. Definitely not
Eat
Liver
raw
King.
meat.
Definitely not Liver King. We don't want to be sunning our balls to try to get increases in testosterone.
You guys want to know how I got
Please
jacked?
do not demonetize this video. Please do not take down TikTok.
You guys want to know how I got jacked?
You want to know how I got these scars? I sunned my balls.
D's nuts. Got him.
Follow my company. It's called D's.
Buy Jeremy chocolate. One's with nuts. And if I have to tell you which one it is,
What?
go buy Hershey's.
I saw that ad and it was just objectively funny.
It was
Like,
very funny. Like, and people are just like the radicalized leftists just lose their shit over this stuff. And it's just like, you guys started it. It's like, what do you expect?
I mean, not even that. It's just kind of funny.
It's just hilarious. Like, honestly, like I watched both those videos back the Hershey. And then watching with Brett Knowles and gosh, what's her name?
Brett Knowles. You mean Brett Cooper?
Brett Cooper.
Michael Knowles.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know my righties very well. I apologize. I'm very centristic when it comes to my conservatism, but it's funny watching them go back and forth. It's hilarious.
God.
What else you got?
Bryson, really quick, what are we on time?
105.
Oh, we got plenty.
Okay.
We got 25 minutes.
If it's
25.
if it's okay, I actually do want to talk about something. You go with that?
No, go for it.
Okay. Bryson, I'm gonna need you to clip this, and
Yeah,
I'm
I got you.
gonna need you to look at this later. So Southern Utah University has picked a commencement speaker for graduation spring 2023.
Is it controversial?
Yeah.
It is very
Very.
controversial. I'll give you one, Jacob. I'll give you one guess who it is.
Who? I don't know who the person would be.
Think Utah.
Name the organization they're
Yeah,
related
like-
to.
Oh, somebody religious,
Very
probably
Utah.
Mormon.
So yeah,
Bryson said's gonna fall off.
So Southern Utah University has picked Jeffrey R. Holland to speak at the commencement for
Okay.
graduation this semester. So there's a lot of controversy behind it. There's a petition to have him not speak. I have signed it.
Yep.
If you are watching this, please go and sign it too.
It's hit like almost 15,000 signatures
At
already.
this point,
Over a
we've all-
weekend?
Okay, so SUU's the student population is about 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
It has hit 15,000 signatures at this point. So
Wow.
yeah, and then the petition was released on Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
Friday.
very new.
Yeah, it
Like,
got that many.
It was
and within a weekend.
announced on the 16th. It's only been 3 days since he was announced that he was going to be the speaker.
Well, is SUU is it considered a LDS?
No.
It's
no,
not, is it?
no, it is a
It's
not.
state-owned.
So
Okay.
if I wanted to have a religious speaker speaking at my commencement, I would have gone to BYU.
Yeah.
SUU is like a
BYUI or BYUH
Yeah.
or any of the other BYUs.
Yeah, so SUU has made a lot of progress in like kind of separating away from the whole
Like separated
Mormonism.
from the state,
Yeah.
kinda.
like they've been really good about like staying independent when it comes to religion. They
should.
have a very great like international and diversity program. The LGBTQ plus community is very strong at SUU, and Jeffrey R. Holland has a reputation for speaking against the LGBTQ community.
Even calling for musket fire upon their beliefs.
Yes, there was in 2000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which that's not gonna go well overall.
That's
with
pretty
anybody.
radical. That's
So-
pretty
With
woke from
anybody.
from the evangelical right, for sure.
Okay, like my whole reason for like not wanting him there doesn't really have to do with the LGBTQ thing. Like that is one of the reasons I'm pissed about it. But I honestly just don't want a religious speaker at the commencement.
Yeah.
I think
that's not-
especially in
I think
a
that's fair
in
because
a
it's supposed to be a
state-
school of scholastics, not of spiritualism.
Exactly.
especially in a state where we have such a huge religious presence. I think that is not good to have that. You should be having that separation of church and state. You should not have a religious leader, especially such a controversial religious leader, regardless of where they are from, be speaking at a commencement speech, which is meant to target the entire student body, not just a majority.
Right.
So
No, that makes sense.
and with the amount of progress that SUU has made in being more independent and not like a religious practice school, like I kind of feel like this is kind of a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we've done such a good job in being welcoming to all communities and all cultures, and this is like, I feel like this is a bit of a decline now.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I guess then who would be better for that commencement speech other than a religious leader?
heck if I know. Honestly, I could think of a lot of people. My first choice would be Simon Sinek. I don't think he would ever come to.
Who's that? Is that
Simon Sinek? He's the
professor?
He's not a professor. He's an author and an idealist.
Mm-hmm.
He's very like active when it comes to talking about leadership and success. He's a very well-known speaker and
like a Grant Cardone kind of guy.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Business
typically a good commencement speaker, like people that have done it in the past, it's often like celebrities sometimes, but it's usually someone who has put in a lot of effort and had success in leadership and like personal growth, sometimes because of college. And so usually they try and pick people either from the area or similar kind of stories like that to talk and like kind of, it's almost like a pep rally kind of thing, like trying to amp them up to go out into the world after they've graduated college. And so it's not exactly like, usually they're non-controversial. This one,
It's hard to find somebody without controversy. I mean,
right.
But
So
still,
they typically are usually as non-biased as they can find.
yeah,
so-
so more centristic, obviously on the political. And
Someone that
religious
relates
spectrum.
to the views of the general community.
So
Yeah.
back in 2019, there was a speech at BYU. One of the students, his name is Matt Easton, and this is
Oh, I think I remember that one.
Yeah.
Is he the one that came out to his whole graduating class?
so he
The proud gay son of God.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
what he
Yeah.
said. Like, I'm
Oh, I
a
remember.
proud gay son of God. And then a couple of years later, 2021, Holland comes out with a speech. I don't remember if this was a general conference thing or if this was just like a press thing.
I was pretty sure it was a
But-
BYU thing, but I couldn't be sure.
Yeah, but he basically bashed on it, saying, like, kind of talking about how he commandeered the microphone.
You shouldn't use the podium to promote your own beliefs.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
And
is what
is exactly
I mean-
what he does. You shouldn't promote your own beliefs because it's not convenient for the church. Anyways,
Yeah, but I don't know. Coming out on it through a speech is kind of a big deal.
right, but I mean, like, I feel like that kind of speech also opens up a lot of doors and like helps a lot of other people in the crowd that might be feeling the same way feel more comfortable coming forward. It's your voice for other people that are in that community feeling terrified.
For a minority group, especially.
Exactly. A lot of people that are having these feelings that are horrified of the backlash that they'll be getting by coming out. And here's this kid who bravely comes out and tells the entire community that he's part of that this is the person that he is, giving some kind of hope for the rest of the community there that is like also too scared about coming out about what they're also feeling and thinking at that time.
Okay, so these commencement speakers, what do you want them, like, if it was you guys, who would, like, what would you want them to talk about? Just to focus on, hey, I've been able to work really hard and I've been able to progress in life and I'm doing great at business, great at personal growth, great at these different things? Or do you want somebody who is going to be politically ideological or sexual ideological or racially ideological? Like, what do you want? Something that's going to be pretty much neutral
Yes.
in the speech?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be fair too, because like obviously you wouldn't want, you know, someone to be like, everybody needs to repent, they need to come back to Jesus, but you also don't want the people and trans rights, and you don't want the people and these racial rights. Like, you just want somebody to be neutral.
I think
Go ahead. Sorry.
you're good. I think a lot of people like will try to use that as like, oh, I have this huge platform, like let's do this, and like I mean I can kind of understand that, but it's not about you.
Right.
Yeah, it's not your moment to have your 15 minutes of fame kind of a deal. You want to inspire people.
Yeah, it's
and leave the podium.
like you said, inspire, and I think like any type of like somebody that's going to be very motivating and give maybe they have a certain story or something that happened in their life that inspired them to, do better, work hard, and just be like, hey, this helped me, this might help you. Like, and
my teacher inspired me. I was having a really hard day and they pulled me aside and they kind of figured it out and helped me through my issue, and I was able to get better grades because I was more focused or whatever. Like, that would be a very touching and very telling story for sure.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Anyway.
I would much rather have someone that's on the neutral end, just because, like, as a college student, like, I've not been motivated to do anything since 2020, dude. Like, I've been dead inside for a long time. If I could have some speaker that is going to come out and give me some kind of hope for the future.
Excuse me.
Like, and I guess that might be asking for a lot, just given my state of mind. If I could have someone that's able to provide some kind of hope and some kind of motivation to just help me keep pushing forward just a little bit longer, like, I'd much rather have that. Having a religious speaker, especially from someone that is the leader of a church that I left because of the amount of trauma that it gave me in my life,
or the lies that they told,
the lies that was
or the
fed to
money
me.
that they stole.
Yeah,
They
for
have
real.
a lot of money.
They literally just got charged in a case for lying.
They get a little slap on the wrist. Pay your $5 million fee. You guys are, and file your right
It's
paperwork. You guys
fine.
are good.
Yeah,
it's
and
like, what?
And you're telling me that you're going to have a leader from this organization that lied and is still lying to all of their followers that...
Follow Mormon Stories podcast, by the way. That is
great
a
sick
podcast.
one.
Sick podcast. I love that podcast.
Also, I'm going to plug them really quick. They're actually interviewing Southern Utah University students right now.
Really?
Oh, really?
They're
Where
looking,
do I sign?
Oh, no, wait.
They're looking
Yeah.
for...
Didn't they interview the guy that's been organizing? No, it was the guy from BYU. So there's a group of Black Americans that are going to BYU, and they're having some really murky racial stuff going on because, unfortunately, Mormonism does have that checkered past with preventing blacks from having their priesthood, and they've been treated a little bit differently, which is really interesting. And so they were interviewing this guy, and they're doing different organizations so that they can support each other and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool. It was more than just, we need to rise up and we need to do all it was like, no, we're here to support each other. And I was like, bro, that's cool. Like, don't be like racially ideological. Just say, hey, we're here to support each other. Like, and I thought that was like a really cool organization that they did that at BYU. And I think that they're growing and they're expanding to the different LDS related universities.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So tomorrow, well, this will probably already, this will be out after this already takes place. But tomorrow, the president's having a couple of like speaking and listening meetings at the school, basically just where students can come and voice
their concerns.
Which
and
I think is really cool that they're doing that.
It's a start.
Sure.
It's a start.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Because, like, honestly, I don't see the university, especially a Utah university, saying no to the church. Like, I don't see them doing it, but I really don't want him speaking at the commencement. Like, I cannot express to you how much I don't want him going.
Yeah.
I think
I have to hope that they can't say, like, could you imagine those headlines, like Southern Utah University saying no to the church?
They disinvite a member of the apostles.
Could you imagine those headlines, bro?
Yeah.
Come on.
There would
That would
be
such
a lot of
huge...
parents and a lot of donors
for
that
sure.
would be very upset.
I think
There's a lot of people that would feel very relieved and safe too.
Oh, for
So-
sure, yeah.
I think personally, like, even though I'm not graduating this semester, it's not even inherently that they are a religious leader. I would prefer not a religious leader if I was graduating and they were commencement speaker, because I am not religious, and I think it can make it more neutral if it's not someone who's directly related to something like that. But I think it's having that leader who has said such troubled things recently, like within like 5 years, I think is what makes it so like controversial.
Well, and I don't think it's a safety issue. I think it's just, Of course, I cough right in the middle of saying that. I don't think it's about safety, but it's definitely about, can he speak objectively? Can he be neutral?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And especially when someone like Jeffrey L. Holland and other, apostolic, members of the church and leadership, they're not very objective. And, experiencing conference for so many years and listening, it is not neutral at all.
It's not a for the facts.
And in fact, what's really interesting is that as I've been listening to the Mormon Stories podcast, they kind of go over all the different things where the church has like slowly been tightening their grip and their grasp on like the different things of how you should be following, how you should be obedient. Like, back in the 60s and 70s, like the church was much more looser. Like it wasn't as like, you must do these things, and if you don't do them, you're in big trouble. But like, but now it's like the church is squeezing the life out of people to the point where they're just leaving in droves now. And they've had a negative like increase in membership because not only are people having less babies, but less people are joining the church because they're just seeing it.
In fact, they've had a lot of people leave.
Yeah.
If missionaries told the truth about who Joseph Smith was and exactly what his legit history was, nobody would join because that shit ain't gonna sell.
But here's the issue, because I was a Mormon missionary for 2 years, is that you're not taught these things. You're taught
exactly
the basic topic level stuff, and you're told to just be obedient and to follow and listen and obey.
It's a bit
and then
cultish.
Pray, and if you get a good feeling, then it's right, and you should just follow. That's the basics of being a missionary. And the only reason I started questioning was because I started reading Joseph Smith history. I started reading Journal of Discourses, the history of the church.
Like, no, stop.
And the story that they tell, which is very, very beautiful, and it's exciting, and it's fluffy, and it makes you feel good inside. And then you start reading all that information, you can tell that there was many different revisions of those stories and the life of Joseph Smith and what actually transpired as he was growing up. There's differences in those stories. And I was just like, this don't make sense. And then I go to my ecclesiastic leaders and my bishops and my mission president. They're just like, well, just keep trucking along. Just hold on to that testimony.
Put your
If it
questions.
doesn't make sense, pray about it.
Put your questions either on a shelf or in a box is what you would hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it was, we don't know the answers to everything. Just have faith. That was that was what was told by me, to me anyway.
No, but like, it's.
I know. Sorry, we kind of get into this ex-Mormon.
Yeah,
Oh, it's okay.
There's a lot of unlearning and relearning that you have to do.
Yeah.
But anyways, that petition. Can we put a link to that in the?
Yeah, definitely sign that. Definitely sign that for sure.
Yeah,
like you definitely don't want somebody that's going to be non-objective or at least neutral. Like you can still be be not objective, but still speak neutrally to people. But unfortunately, church leaders do not do that.
Yeah. And if you're walking this semester, join the protest that's going on.
Yeah.
If they decide.
Isn't there like a event?
Yeah. Drop me the link and I'll put it up on our Twitter and everything too.
If they don't change it, I think this is only happening if they don't change it. But there's there's going to be a protest going on the day of graduation where a lot of people who are walking are just going to be walking out.
Yeah.
Peaceful protest, please.
Yeah.
It is a peaceful protest.
Yes.
It's a non-violent.
They have even said several times, they're like, if this happens, it is peaceful and non-violent.
Yeah, we can't be sending that message.
Yeah, because then it just hurts. It just
you
makes
have to
things
show that you're
counterproductive.
better.
Yeah, exactly. It does make the message counterproductive when you start using violence and yelling and screaming down at people. Like that's just, your voice is heard when you stand up and walk out. If you don't attend, if you sign a petition, like your voices are heard. Like I just think it's interesting when people start getting radicalized and you're just like, bro.
Yeah. So I think they said that 20% of SUU's population is non-Mormon. I think that's only including those that have not been baptized. You have to include there's a lot
of us who still have records.
Yeah, we have
haven't had them removed.
We have records, and a lot of people who have records are like, we're not active, we're not going to church. Like my name is still in the church, but
I get the emails all the time, and I'm like, stop.
I don't get the missionaries every once in a while.
I have.
I just don't give I don't give enough of a shit to remove my name. So.
You know what's funny is I thought so. I'm originally from Southern California.
Okay.
Yeah.
SoCal.
So I moved here to Utah in 2020, and I thought like missionaries knocking at my door was gonna be like an everyday thing, and then I realized I'm like, I live in Utah. Like
This
that
is where they
probably
come
more
from.
common in California than in Utah.
This is
It's
where
only
they
happened
come from, Jenna.
Once, and it's never been. It was not even at my house. It was at my friend's house.
Yeah, I had Mormon missionaries knock on my door once, and I was like, "Yep, nope."
Yeah.
Funny enough, the other day
can't
I
get
saw
in the
them
Relief
walking around my
Societies.
apartments.
Yeah.
I was like, please ignore me.
No.
Still got the Relief Society knocking on our door, and like the missionaries came by the other day. I just ignored it. I'm not interested.
Next
Thank
time
you.
they
If
knock
it's
on
not my Amazon package, I will probably ignore it.
I just pretend I'm deaf.
Next time I get a knock on the door, I am answering the door butt ass naked. if I really
Jesus is here.
if I really have to, I'll wear a sock.
It's Jock Shop
Okay,
Day.
but like, what if you actually dressed up as Jesus and answered the door?
Oh my God. Please. That'd be so funny.
I'll do that. I'll make the next time I'll get it.
Go
I'll
say
make
hi
it.
to the missionaries as
I'll
Jesus.
actually make a TikTok
Thank you for
about it,
spreading
yeah.
my message.
Be like, listen, thanks guys for spreading my message. I got a new one for you. So back in the day,
Weed.
I used cannabis.
And then I got high.
Because I got high.
My favorite thing to bring up here. Anyways,
Oh, that was such a great bit, man. That was probably my best bit, like, since we've been doing this.
oh my god,
I was gonna preach to the kids, but then I got high.
was gonna heal the sick.
But then I got high. Was gonna bring them all to church, but I know why. Because I got high. Because I got high. La da 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 da.
Anyways,
It's all 90s music, man.
we're going all over the place today, man.
Love it.
Jeez. Yeah, that's
What other deep questions do you have, Miss Jenna?
I think those are my only two that I got for you right now.
All right. What's the purpose of life? Let's go.
Oh gosh! Wow.
How much time do you have?
Crisis starts in 3, 2, 1.
Epic anxiety and
Let's see. I did see the new Scream movie last night, which was really good. I know Bryson's kind of the entertainment guy.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. I want to, though.
It's pretty good.
Mainly because Jenna Ortega's in it.
Yeah. Fun fact, Jenna Ortega and I grew up in the same area, but I
What?
just never knew
Really?
her. We're the same age. I just never knew her because we went to different schools.
oh, that's cool.
So when she got the deal at Disney Channel, it was like a big deal in our community. So
That's sick.
yeah.
But she's been a child actor for like
long
ever,
time.
right?
Yeah.
I think the first time I ever saw her was in the TV show You.
That was fairly recent, I think.
It was like season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, season 2 would be 19 18 19 2018 2019
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, I don't know what she had done before, but I know we were in middle school when she got the.
I know, like, her first
The
thing
Disney
was
Channel.
in, like, Iron Man 3. I saw this on TikTok the other
Legit?
day. Yeah.
Really?
She is only in there for, like, a split second.
Was she the one with the Iron Man mask?
No. She's like the vice president's daughter.
Hey, we're getting off topic here. I said, "What's the meaning of life?" And everybody's just like, "Well, I saw
Iron
the
Man.
show the other day."
It's 'cause
Had
we-
Jenna or
True
I was
crime
like,
is the meaning of life.
We're,
Oh,
we're trying to avoid our own crises.
Oh, that's fair.
Avoiding strategies.
it's kind of tough walking through life when you're like, I don't know,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm just going to pick my thing,
Have fun, do whatever you want.
pay the government for my education,
I don't like
and then
paying the
hope
government.
that
I
it
have
can
to.
pay me back.
Isn't there like some big abolishing thing happening where they're trying to abolish the IRS?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I have
Taxation
no
is theft
idea.
and blah, blah,
I'd love
blah.
that. That'd be fantastic.
Well, isn't that kind of like
Well-
the like sovereign citizen type deal thing where they're like, I saw this lady on TikTok, and it was like the sovereign. She pulled like that stunt on a police officer that pulled her over, and she's like, he was like, license and registration. And she was like, no, I don't need a license to drive a car.
She's like,
And
no.
he was like-
You don't know the law.
He was like, yes, you do need a license to drive a car. But then she turned your store. She's like, well, I'm not driving. I'm traveling.
Clearly
Well,
a different thing, officer.
to be
Reminds me
honest,
of that.
to be honest, though, there was a string of videos, especially on YouTube, where people were like literally like baiting the police officers and basically telling them how to do their jobs and stuff. And, you know, some of them were actually doing it according to the laws, especially the laws in their
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
But some of them you're just like,
You're like,
bro,
man, you're
going
dumb.
to jail.
You got like a 2
Even
IQ.
if you didn't do anything illegal,
yeah.
yeah, you deserve to go to jail just for saying that.
Reminds me of that one guy that got pulled over. He was like, why are you sitting at the stoplight for so long? Oh, I was waiting for it to turn green. He's like, okay, well, where do you live? I live with my parents. Okay, well, where do you all live? We all live together. Well,
Was he high?
okay, where's your house? It's by my neighbor's house. Okay, where does your neighbor live? Oh, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
What was he smoking?
Next to my house.
Whatever he was smoking, I want twice as much.
I want
'cause
some.
Damn.
You got some?
No, but
people
like,
are weird.
yeah, sorry to go back to that, and I'm sorry that's kind of a downer, but yeah, like when I was going through my faith crisis, like for me, Mormonism was like my way of life, and that was the meaning of life. You know, it was the way. It was.
You literally went on.
This
a
is the
mission.
way.
Yeah, I literally went on a 2-year mission teaching people about this stuff, and that
Cringe.
was. And my wife and I, we got married in the temple and everything. Like, we only really had our falling out like 5 or 6 years ago. It's pretty recent, actually.
Well, and it's like really interesting to like just kind of take all of that in because like I mean, I knew about like Utah and Mormons, but like I definitely, you know, I was never part of
Jenna's
the church.
like, are they real?
So it's like
They were like unicorns. It
Well,
just kinda,
but it's like really interesting, like being like not in it at all, and then just kind of being able to like take it all in and be like, okay, like, oh yeah, that is very weird. That is kind of
yeah.
Just the
strange.
outside perspective. You're like,
Yeah.
man, you
Outside
guys are
looking in,
you guys are
Yeah.
hella weird.
And
It
I'm
is
like,
very weird.
When we were kids, the way that we were taught is like we were. First of all, church was 3 hours.
Yeah,
I can
bro.
Ugh.
still
It's
for
2
that
hours.
one.
I hated that.
It's 2 hours now, but like we would start with like the whole
I'd still hate it.
congregation.
Yeah.
So everybody would meet in the congregation, and then like we would all separate based on your age. So I mean, like if you were like 5, 6 years old, or however old you would go off in a separate room with your teacher, and they would basically hammer down like all these beliefs in you.
They'd
And,
beat you.
You
And yeah.
literally sing songs and indoctrinate you with the songs.
yeah, it was a lot of interesting brainwashing tactics that they would use.
Yeah.
And like I know that may be an over exaggeration, but like if you look up the term brainwashing, that's essentially what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, some of
Yeah.
their practices are a little cultish.
It,
A little
A
cultish?
little.
I mean, a
Little-
lot cultish.
I'm
if you-
appealing to the content rules, Jacob.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
trying
it
to
was-
keep you on TikTok.
It was
Oh,
really
okay.
interesting.
Mormons will say that the church is not a cult. It is a cult. All you have to do is define the word
Cult
cult,
of
and then line it up with the church.
personality.
Well,
It is
and
the
that's
Mormon church is a
also
cult.
what fascinates me about the FLDS as well. If you are very interested in like kind of those type of like
Yeah.
deep dives on Netflix, Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Terrifying.
So the thing is,
Yes.
like, that's what the church was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like the Mormon church is like what separated because they had to change a bunch of things due to like
Oh, there's
laws
there's
The
been
federal laws.
surprisingly, there's been a lot of split offs from the church, like over
Oh, yeah.
over the years since Joseph Smith's death. Like even when Brigham Young took over, it was like a whole different thing
yeah.
than Joseph's original vision, which is very fascinating.
There are split offs where women are allowed to baptize and like they can.
hold the priesthood and
Mhm.
do all the temple
They-
stuff.
yeah.
It's very strange.
It's,
Which is also very interesting because, like, I didn't, like, grow up in Christian churches, but I definitely went to them for, like, a pretty decent portion of my life. But it was, like, always very interesting because I believe it was all of the ones that I went to were non-denominational because you have, like, the Baptist and, like, the Lutheran churches kind of under that same umbrella, I think. But it was always very interesting because, like, the only women that you ever saw, like, leading or being pastors were the children's pastors.
Right.
And very rarely like middle school, but like never like high school, and never like the lead pastor of like the whole church, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was very interesting. And like I remember one of my boyfriend's friends had returned from his mission not too long ago, and because his family is no longer in the church either, but his friend's family still is. And I remember we went to his homecoming talk at the church, and I was just like looking at everything. So I mean, like, it's fascinating to be like, oh, like this is the way that like people like live, and like this is what they believe. And I was like, it's just objectively pretty interesting. But it was also like, I was like, oh, everybody's like in this same room, and like it was just very like, what's the word I'm looking for? Very, like, it felt almost like being in a doctor's office. Like, it was very tan.
very
it
clinical.
Felt like very like clinical and sterile, and I was just like,
Yeah, it's been interesting.
God will pick your brain.
Very strict.
Because I used to believe very strongly in the dogma of, we lived in a life before here, with God and everybody, and then we all came here because we wanted to be more like God. So we all gained bodies, and we're here to learn and to grow and to be good, obedient, children of God. And then we die, we return to live with our families, and then we praise God for the rest of our lives, as well as we become more like Him. So we become gods. And now I'm just like, that's interesting, but it doesn't really make sense to me anymore. And so like that kind of ideas of like, this is the meaning of life is now like, the first part and the last part just kind of went poof for me. So it's like, well, all I know and understand is that I'm here. So I kind of go on an agnostic theistic approach where I'm very agnostic as far as like, I can't prove or disprove that God exists or that there is a supreme creator, right? But as well, I still pray and I still talk to God. And like I still have those kind of Judaic Christian values, but I don't espouse to the belief in a religion which is created by man.
Yeah.
And so my meaning of life is to learn and to grow and to have wonderful friends and to live with my wonderful wife and to love her and to cherish her and to be her champion.
Choose your champion.
Just be a good human.
Jacob.
So that's kind of my purpose of life
Yeah.
right now. But still, it's kind of one of those things where you're just like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's honestly hard for people to say nowadays, that they don't know something. So people either fabricate a reality or a factoid or something to themselves to say, I know this thing, because they don't want to be the person that doesn't have the answer, or that doesn't have the answer to everything.
Yeah, it's hard to admit that you don't know.
Yeah, but you don't know what you don't know. Like how much do you know about electricity? Like how much? Like you
nothing. I just believe it works.
Goes
Just flip the switch.
I plug in my phone.
Call the guy if it doesn't work.
I have
believe-
faith that when I plug my phone into the wall, it will charge.
You've seen it happen.
It's all about have faith.
Exactly.
I have faith that when I stick a needle into a power outlet, I'll probably get shocked.
I will.
Don't do that.
I will see God.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I think honestly, I take some I do take some comfort in that. Like I do take some comfort in when the lights go out at the end of my life, there could be nothing. But the lights could go out and they could come back on and there could be something else.
It's the doctor's office. They revived me.
They did not follow the DNR.
My aunt
I'm alive.
My aunt is such a funny person. She'd always say, when I get to that HR department up there in the
That HR department.
in the floating castle in the sky, I'm going to have a thing to say about this life because I did not get what I wanted.
Me.
I always laugh because it's like, the Mormons do believe like they got an opportunity to like get what
to talk
some
with
of
HR.
what they want in this life, and they also got an opportunity into the creation of this world. That's also something that's really interesting about Mormons. They actually believe that they had a hand in something, even though Jesus did it, but we also were in the planning process. And I'm just like,
Wow.
That's
I didn't know
interesting. Yeah, they do.
That is
Like, hey,
interesting.
God, remember that traumatizing relationship we had when we were 24? Yeah, I could have gone without that. Just
I
saying.
think we all could have gone without one.
They
of
also
those.
believe in a heavenly mother. So there's a God and a goddess.
There you go, Kai.
They had spiritual babies in the pre-existence.
pretty on brand right
I
there.
apologize for our LDS watchers and listeners. I hope you don't get offended.
We have
Still
Jesus
love you.
on the podcast. Okay, we get your vote.
The Lord and Savior of the world, Jesus Christ.
Wah, wah, wah.
Follow me on TikTok at maybe.jesus_.
Maybe Jesus. Maybe underscore Jesus.
You have to
Follow
have
him.
you have to have faith that he's Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know. Mormonism
know.
is interesting.
I think the purpose of life, like you kind of said, just comes down to just be a good human. Just
Yeah.
Amen.
like if
Amen.
you can't think of any other purpose than that in life, just be a good freaking person.
DBAD stands for don't be a dick.
Nice.
DED dead.
Yeah, Daryl. What was his name? Not Daryl. What was his name? Derek? In Ant-Man? Don't be a dick.
Darren?
Darren. That's right. I knew it was a D name.
I
It was
won't be a
Darren.
dick.
I'm not a dick.
I'm not a dick.
So, some of the dumbest moments in film history were in those scenes. But some of them were pretty funny, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. But anyway, how are we doing?
We're good. We're at 140.
We're at 140? Yeah, we're
Oh.
over.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys,
We're
hey, thank
vibing.
you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. Hopefully, we did earn your subscription today, so don't forget to like and share this video, subscribe, as well as turn on notifications so you don't miss a content release. You can let us all know your ideas and your videos. You can send us to theperiodicreview@gmail.com. And from our family to yours, good night.
Bye.
Use a kiss for your mom.
Mwah.